Out here with Yazi. Made a few videos recently about kind of how I'm doing the healing. Figured I'd make a little bit more of an in-depth explanation of my thought process on everything, how I get and achieve the focus heal. There's tons of different ways to go about training the focus heal. I personally like a method that really solely relies on the toy and not so much luring or food. So this is kind of how I go about it. The first step, really, all I want the dog to understand is that sitting unlocks the reward. I like to do a lot of free shaping here in the beginning with my training. So I really want the dog to just kind of figure it out on their own. When I see the behavior happen, I just mark with my terminal marker YES, and then just pay the dog. So he's already in that sit position. I don't command anything. The only thing I'll formally command him here is probably out. Once I start commanding things formally, then I have to hold him to a very specific standard. And in the beginning, I'm just not too concerned with those types of things. So through repetition, he just starts understanding, okay, when I get the toy taken away, I do X, Y, and Z, kind of pattern train that just a little bit. And then I just start building duration of how long my dog is in that sit position before I mark and pay. I start incorporating different levels of distraction. Really, the first step is understanding how to go into that position and maintain the position to some degree through very minimal level distraction, because that's going to set us up for our next step. Yes. Once my dog understands how to get in the behavior, stay in the behavior relatively consistently, that's when I go ahead and put myself in the heel position. The reason I do that is because I'm just not ready for him to start practicing coming into. All I'm doing really in the second step is creating the picture of what the beginning generally and the end generally of healing looks like, right? So usually you're starting from a sit, not always, and usually you're ending with a sit, but not always. So he understands how to stay and maintain position. I just get myself into really, really nice position here. And then once I have the desired result, right, the nice focus, I just mark that behavior, yes, and reward. Now, when I'm rewarding, I'm coming up and down from my shoulder almost to my hip. That's going to create a lot of focus and predictability on where that reward placement is. So he's going to draw his attention up that way. I also believe that it helps with striking behavior. That's why you'll always see me generally when I say YES, I'm moving the toy in some fashion to create more of that striking behavior. And I just run through this as much as I need to. It's something that I'll go back and I'll show my adults as well. Yes. And then I can just kind of compensate, right? So I'm trying to just paint the picture of this is how you're getting your payment when the situation looks like this, creating it and making sure that it is rock solid. So with him, I noticed that he likes to drop his head and look a little bit too forward. I'll just start overcompensating by moving myself in more of a forward position. That way his nose and head is essentially glued to my left hip here. Out. So he's in that position. I move in. And this is kind of where I want my dogs at all time, right? Because I know that he's leaning forward just a little bit, I'm overcompensating. So his nose, his head is almost directly in line with my hip. So he's still a little bit forward, making a little bit of a micro adjustment there. No problem, because I'm not holding him to a firm criteria or standard. I just remove myself from the picture, and then we just reset. very, very relaxed and patient here in the beginning. I don't care if they make those adjustments, make the mistakes, which aren't really mistakes. Again, because I'm not formally commanding anything, I don't care, right? So I don't have to hold them to a specific standard. What I really am showing him is that the only way you're going to achieve your desired outcome and be successful is by being picture perfect, right? So that's the only thing I'm really strict about here when I'm teaching the sit or getting myself in position is marking and rewarding the absolute best picture possible. So if the picture isn't perfect, I just reset and then we just keep trying and trying and trying. So here, yes, and that was a lot better position there. So with the sit, with me getting into that position and creating that picture, the marker will come based upon what the dog is showing me and where we are in the process. In the beginning, right, it doesn't look as clean. We've been running through this several times, several reps now since I've had him. That marker is coming as soon as I kind of see that behavior happen, right? So what I'm trying to essentially teach the dog is the faster you do it, the faster you get your reward, right? And there's a lot of confusion in him trying to just figure out and learn what actually is successful for him. So especially when I am sitting is pretty easy, right? They kind of pick up on that kind of stuff really quick. But getting into position, so getting into position, initially he didn't understand what the name of the game was. He might be looking over here or wherever it is. I just wait for him to reconnect with me, and then as soon as he does in the beginning, yes, and then I just reward that. The next step that I like to take is just incorporating movement, right? So what that might look like in the beginning is I might get myself into heel position, and I just start moving. Yes. When I see that result that I'm looking for, that's just when I mark and pay. I'm letting him figure out. So because I did a lot of reinforcement for maintaining the behavior, it took him a little bit to kind of figure out. And that's just, again, where I just wait him out and I'm very patient with him. And what that looks like in this process is all I'm looking for initially is one step forward before I mark and pay, just like with anything that I teach. I'm only looking for one step in that right direction, whether it's that maintaining the sit for a longer period of time than the last time, or you're getting and connecting with me sooner or quicker when I put myself into that heel position. Up. And I put myself in the heel position, nice and good, statue still. I just start moving. Yes. And that's what it looked like in the beginning. I take that first step forward with my left foot, I mark and pay. And I just do that over and over and over until I start building a little bit more longevity in the behavior, and I can start moving a little bit more naturally. So whereas it's one step, it's going to be 3 steps, might be 5 steps, I might go back to 1 step, keeping it as random as possible. That way he's always anticipating when that reward might be coming. Just because I can get 10 solid steps of healing doesn't mean I'm always going to wait 10 steps to reward, here in the beginning at least. And pretty much throughout my dog's entire life, depending on what I'm trying to clean up. So we're in good heel position. Start moving. Yes, that was a nice, good turn. He stuck right by my hip there. Those are the types of things that I'm going to make mental notes of. Where are we falling short? And where am I able to reward progression? And that's what I'm always trying to do, is reward progression. Some of those right turns that we're incorporating are a little bit wide. He's swinging his butt out. I saw that he was more so glued a little bit more. That head was nice position with my hip. So that's the type of stuff that I'm going to continue to reward. And there's just a little bit more thought process on how I go about starting to teach focused healing moving forward. I hope this helps, and we'll see you in the next one.